Hey everyone, this is Greg from Hey Get with the Times, and this is going to be an updated video on how to set up your KW stuff. If you're new to Keller Williams, this is all of your technology getting set up for you. If you were in Class 1, which is this is a recap of Class 1, you'll remember that we had four different control panels that we had to go into and get set up. The bad news is you have four control panels to set up. The good news is that once you get them set up this one time and you do it right, you don't ever have to worry about it again. Remember, the biggest advantage to you having to do all of this, quote, extra work is that all of the leads are going to be directed straight to you. So it's well worth coming through here, doing this video, taking the time, and just following along and doing the steps that I'm going to do here for you in this video. If you feel like you don't have a good understanding of anything here, you don't really have to understand what we're doing to set up. So you can just follow along and do the clicks that I do. If you want more of an explanation, of course, you can always contact me directly. If you're in the class, you have my contact information, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. So again, if you remember from class, we talked about four control panels. Let's start with the first one, which is the white pages, which is your KW profile control panel. So first of all, we're going to always start in My KW. That's where we'll get to all four of these control panels. So the first one is going to be right here under the agent's name and the slider that says how complete their profile is. Now let me start here. I see a lot of agents who are spending a lot of time trying to get themselves to 100%, even going as far as putting information in that they don't actually have. And you'll see what I mean by that later. Remember, this doesn't have to be at 100%. To be honest with you, if you're in the high 80s or low 90s, you're probably in very good shape here. But we definitely want it higher than 26. So let's get started with our first control panel, the KW white pages, and we're going to click on the word profile, which is right under the slider. When we do that, we're going to go to a page that shows several control panels, but we're only going to focus on two of them right now. So right here it says My KW Info, and then it says white pages, and then right under that it says edit. We're going to click on edit. And this will take us into the white pages where the first thing we're going to do is upload a photo. And you can see in the top left-hand corner right here, it says Upload Agent Photo. So we're going to click on that. And then I'm going to hit Browse. And I'm going to go straight to the agent's photograph. And oops, there we go. And I'm going to hit Upload. And we will let that photo upload. There you go. And then I'm going to come down here and just fill out these boxes as we see them. Now, I'm not going to go through every box like designations. I mean, if you have a designation like a GRI, I don't think you need my help to put that in there. We are going to put in street. I always recommend you use your office's address here because remember, the white pages often uses the white pages often pushes the address into different places, and you want to make sure that you have the right information in there. You don't want your home phone number. I'm sorry, your home address, for example, going out onto public websites. So I tend to just stick with the office info here. So let's put in. Okay, and I have a zip code here somewhere. There we go. And we'll put in a cell phone number and the office number. And right here, we're going to put in a mobile carrier right down here. See what says mobile carrier? We're going to get a phone number verified. And in order to do that, we need to put in the mobile phone number, the carrier, and then we'll have to hit verify. Unfortunately, I don't have that agent's phone number with me right now, so I'm going to have to skip that. But generally, you would just type in the cell phone number. 603. Okay, you would type in the mobile carrier, which I'm not sure which one it is, so I'm just going to hit one. And then you would just hit validate right here. But again, I'm not going to do that right now. What will happen is when you hit validate, your cell phone will get a text message, there's going to be a word in there. It's one of the Y4C2Ts, and it is case sensitive. So if you get, for example, teamwork, make sure that you capitalize the T, because once you hit validate, it's going to ask you to type in that word. So just, again, remember it is case sensitive. Okay, if you want to put in a fax number, go ahead. If you want to put in your country, gender, salutation. If you want to type in biography, and again, you can take more time to do than I'm doing right now, but I'm just going to put in something really quick, just so there's something here. James specializes in residential real estate in southeastern Massachusetts. Okay. Next right here is to display the URL to your kw.com. Generally, I ask you to just put your name here. I'll show you what that is in just a little bit. I'm just going to put the agent's name here. Okay. Now this next section is if you want to display your Facebook, your Twitter, your blog, or your YouTube, okay? You can do it in here, but you need to be careful. Please make sure you read the descriptions below, because as you can see from this one, it says that what it wants here is the part of the URL that comes after facebook.com/. So in other words, I'm just going to put one in here, then I'll take it out later. Later, you can just put one in here, and that would be, in other words, this whole URL would have looked like this. But because the paragraph that I told you to read below says it doesn't want the www.facebook.com/, we'll get rid of all that, and that's all that it's looking for. Twitter works similarly. Blogs work a little bit different. So again, make sure you read and put in just the part of the blog and the part of these different things that are requests, because if not, it's going to error out on you. You can put in your blog URL, you can put in a YouTube URL, you can put in your Google Plus, you can put in your LinkedIn. But again, like I said earlier, in people's effort to get to 100%, they're putting fake information here. And then when people are going to your profile page, they're clicking on these links and they're going to dead links, and that's not going to help you win over any new clients if they go to your profile page and find mistakes on that. So I'd ask you to leave that blank. Okay, now I'm going to leave this Facebook one in here just for now, just so you can see what it does when we're done. And we're going to continue on down. If you speak any of the languages, check them off here. And if you work for a pre-arranged brokerage, you can click on the brokerages that you worked at here. If you want that to display, you're going to have to check off yes. I generally leave that at no though. The next thing you want is your email address to go here. And this is the email address that KW will reach you at, and it's also the email address that KW will display for you. And if you get a lead from KW.com, this is the email address that's going to come. This is the email address that lead will go to. Next, you have your Ignite and your 3612.3 start dates. Fill this out. Don't fill it out. It's okay. If you don't remember the dates, it's all right. Just pick one. No one's going to come back and tell you that you're wrong. Once you have made all of these changes, you're going to hit save. And I just need to make sure that I get rid of that before I start. There we go. And then we're going to hit save, and then you'll see once it saves at the top of the page, this will pop back to the top in a second, hopefully. There we go. It says associate information successfully saved. Make sure that you see that, okay? This is step one. This is a big step to making sure that your profile looks right and to making sure that your KW information is up to date and accurate. So what I want to do really quick here now is show you what your KW profile looks like. So let's go to the front end of the website where the customers would go, kw.com. And what we're going to do is search for an agent. And we're going to search for, and here we go. And we have James. Now, you can see his photo's not here yet. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Sometimes this will take a couple of hours for the photo to update itself. I've seen it take as long as overnight. Notice when we click on the agent, I have two options. Visit my website. Now, this website that we're about to see is your e-agency website, and we're not going to be using this. In fact, I'm going to show you how to change that so that if anybody does click on it, it's going to go to your Playster website instead. But that's what your e-agency website would look like if we were using it. What we want to click on right now is View My Profile. And as you can see, the biography that we put in there, short as it may be, it's there, but here's his photo here. And also, his phone numbers are here, and we can find him on Facebook. But if we click on this, of course, we're going to end up on my Facebook page, not his, so we're going to delete that. But you would see your Facebook and any other social media that you have here. So again, remember, people will come and click on this. They will land on this page when they're Googling you, especially if they're about to hire you to sell their home. And they may click on these links. And if they go to a dead link, that's probably not helping you any. Also, as you get new listings on your profile page, your listings would show up over here to the right, which makes this a lead capture website for you. Okay? So that's what your profile page is. That's pretty much what we just set up there. Let's close this now. Now we're going to go back to this page that the technology department gave us. We're going to go to the third tab, Other. Okay, My Referrals, and we're going to hit Edit, and we're just going to do a quick little update here. And this is honestly just to get your profile up a little bit higher. And if anybody in the company is looking to refer an agent, some of them still use the white pages to do it. So you want to make sure that you're set up here. So the team name is just going to be the agent's name. You specialize in, if you have any designations, type them there. If you have a slogan, type it there. If you want to type in any referral notes, you can type it here. Once you're done, hit save. And then we have one more step to do in here. So again, it says associate information successfully saved. Now we want you to come back down here where it says city and service area and hit add service areas. And here's where you should type in the service areas that you work in. You're typing in just the cities. And remember, it is not case sensitive. Everything will be converted to lowercase no matter what you do. So you can type in capital letters, but as you see when you submit them, it's going to automatically make them lowercase. So I'm just going to type a couple of them in here. And you can type in the cities and towns that you work in. Okay, I'm just going to do those for right now, and then I'm going to close this. All right, we've done what we have to do here, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up to the top, the main menu, I'm going to click on Home, and we're going to go back to My KW, and you can see we've come a long way. We have this profile now up to 86%, which is plenty high enough. His photo will show up here over the next couple of hours, so again, if yours isn't showing up yet, don't worry about it, you're going to be fine. And we're going to move on to the second control panel now. So you already finished your first control panel. That was the MyKW one. The second one that we had talked about in class today was your eAgency or your WolfNet control panel. And if you remember, we're not going to use the eAgency website, which means we're not going to set it up. But I do want to make sure that you do have your WolfNet IDX set up because as of this moment, this IDX feed controls KW.com's search. It controls, of course, your eAgency search. It also controls your mobile app, and it has a lot to do with the KWLS. So I want to make sure, even if you don't know what this stuff is, it's okay. Just come in here and make sure this is set up. So to get to your second control panel, we're going to hover over Home in the main menu. Get out of there and do that again. Hover over Home. We're going to go to Agent Website Admin. Agent Website Admin. And when we get to Agent Website Admin, we're going to click on the box. And as you can see, it opens up a new tab for us, which I'm going to bring to the center. And as you can see in the top left, there are 5 boxes here. As you click each box, there are several more options. Now, if you were setting up your eAgency website, you would start at 1.1 and then just keep working your way through them all. We're not doing that. We're just going to hit on a few of these because we're just getting your KW technology set up, not the eAgency website, which is going away. And by the time you watch this, it may already be gone. So basically, we're going to start by clicking on number 1, and we're going to go to section 1.2, Edit Contact Info. And all we're going to do here is make sure your contact information here is correct. And we're going to fix whatever isn't. Okay. And we're going to type in again. I'm going to use the company address, because this is going to go out to public places as well. I'm going to put in the cell phone number. Okay, notice I put the cell phone number under just phone because that's the required field. See that little dot right there? That means that one's required, which means I'm not going to put it down here. I'm not going to bother to put in a fax number. I'm not going to put in a page number or a toll-free number either. And basically at that point, I'm just going to hit save. All I'm worried about right now is my agent's contact information. I'm not worried about any of this other stuff. If I skipped it, it means you don't need to worry about it. Now again, once I hit save, you're going to have to look up here and make sure it says save successful. There are times where, you think you saved it and something went wrong and you didn't. So get in the habit of looking up here when you save and make sure you have that save successful. All right, that's it for section 1. Next, we're going to go to section 2. And what we're going to do is go to section 2.4, edit site info. Now, in this section right here, what we're going to do is we're going to change out to view your website. We're going to switch it from the eAgency website to the Playster website. So, for example, I'm going to open this again. I'm sorry that I'm doing this in duplication, but we're going to go to kw.com. We're going to search. I just want to make sure you understand what I'm doing here. I'm going to search for Jim again. And search for him. And as you can see, remember up here it said visit my website, and it's bringing you to the eAgency website, which we're not going to be using. Well, we want to change that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and change it so that when they click on this, it'll go to his Playster website instead. Now, if you do not know your Playster website address, I'm going to show you right now how to get it. So let's go back to MyKW. Okay, I'm jumping around a little bit here, so just bear with me. I'm still in my WolfNet control panel, but I opened up one of my other tabs up here. On the top of the screen, I opened up one of my other tabs, and I went back to MyKW. And what I'm going to do is very quickly, I'm going to jump into Playster just for a second, just so that we can get the URL that we want to move this over to. So to get to Playster, I'm going to hover over Technology, and then I'm going to hover over KW Websites, and then I'm going to hit Go to My Website. Okay? And again, I'm just going into Playster just for a minute so that I can get my web address, my Playster website address. So the first thing is your website is not live yet and it's not yet visible to the public. If you've never been here before, you're going to get this. So you want to hit Launch Your Site Now. Now your site is live, and you're going to click on View Live Site right here. And then up top, and again, unfortunately, my screen cuts off before you're not going to be able to see it, but in the address bar up at the top of the screen, you're going to get your URL. Okay, you're just going to copy that. Okay, and I know that that's off the screen. I apologize, but I can't move that up right now. So basically, I just went up to the address bar and I copied the web address. Okay, so I have that. This is what your Playster website will look like, as you can see. I'm going to close out of that for right now, though. Close out of that. There we go. And again, right now, the only reason I went here is to change this. Visit my website is going to be switched over to Playster. So again, let's go back and into our WolfNet control panel, right? If you remember, we went to section 2 and then went to section 2.4, right? And under the word hosting, right here, you see it says hosting? It says your website address, website to display says eAgency template, and that's selected. We don't want that one. We're going to select the second circle, which is the alternate website, and then right below it, we need to put in the website address. And there it is. Then what we're going to do is simply hit save. Don't worry about anything else on this page. Just make sure it says save successful. Again, all of this stuff, other than this right here, is for your eAgency website. We're not going to worry about that. So all we're doing is going to hosting. website to display. We're going to check off the second box, and then we're going to paste in our Play Store, or really whatever website you want people to go to on your website will be fine. So you're just going to click on that, and you're going to be fine. Again, we hit save. Now here's the thing. This is not going to show up for you until tomorrow. So in other words, if I was to go out to the agent's webpage, okay, right here, and click on view my website, it's still going to take me to the other one. This will propagate overnight. Just come back tomorrow, check your profile, and just make sure it worked, but you shouldn't have any problem. Okay, so again, you can't see the change right now, but you will. Okay, let's go back and get back into WolfNet. Okay, that's section 2. Now we're going to go to section 4, and we're going to go to 4.1, and we're going to make sure that your IDX is properly set up. Okay, now you're going to see one of 3 things when you get to this page. The first thing you're going to see is this one right here, which means you basically just need to check off yes. Okay, make sure that's your MLS. Okay, then check off yes, and then check off sign up. Okay, if you see this, that's all you need to do. Check off yes, and then hit sign up. I'm not going to do that just yet. The second thing you may see is you may see this won't be here. All of this sign up stuff won't be here. And under WolfNet URL, you're going to see a URL. If you see that, you're all set. You don't need to do anything here. Just move on to the next section. Okay? So again, if you come in here and all of this isn't here, but you see a URL here down in WolfNet URL, that means you're good. You don't need to do anything. The third possibility is this doesn't exist and there's no URL here. If that's the case, there will be a message right about where my cursor is that says that your MLS number is not in the white pages, which means you will need to go see your MCA. This is the only person who can do this for you, and ask your MCA to please put your MLS number into your white pages. And again, only your MCA can do that. Okay, and then you can come back in a couple of hours and it'll look like this. And in that case, you will make sure you have the right MLS selected. You'll say, yes, sign me up. Again, ignore this thing about the MapTrax is available for $10 a month. That's not what you're signing up for. You're just signing up for your basic IDX feed, which is included for you being a Keller Williams agent. So don't think that you're signing up for a $10 map upgrade. That's not what's happening. And then simply hit sign up. Okay? Now it says you're almost finished. Check with your MCA for any additional forms. Some states, you may have to check with your MCA for additional forms. Most states, by this point in time, this is pretty automated, and there's nothing else that you're going to have to do. Okay, the next thing that's going to happen is, in 24 to 48 hours, this agent is going to receive an email from WolfNet, or it may come from MLS Finder, which is what WolfNet calls their IDX search. So it'll come from either WolfNet or MLS Finder, and it will welcome them to their IDX feed. Just save that email, just hang on to it. There's a couple of username and passwords that you may need. We're not going to cover it in this course, but you may need them someday, so don't lose it. More importantly, over the next 24 hours after you get that email, your WolfNet URL should appear here. So again, about 1 or 2 days after you get the email from WolfNet, come back into section 4.1 and make sure your WolfNet URL is here. If not, you're going to want to give them a call and have that put in there for you. Okay, and that is that. That's all you need to do on section 4.1. While we're here, we're going to take a quick look at section 4.5. Section 4.5 is your mobile app, and it's going to look one of 2 ways. It's either going to look like this, or it's going to look like this. And obviously, if it looks like this, you don't want that. So we're just going to hit the arrow to the right of none, and we're going to pick our market center, and we're going to hit save. While you're here, there's nothing else you need to do here, by the way. That's it. Your mobile app is good to go. While you're here, I want you to copy this mobile URL. Now, I need you to understand what this mobile URL is. This is the personal link to your own personal KW mobile app. Now, again, this is not a course on the KW mobile app, so if you don't know what that is, you're going to have to seek help elsewhere on that. But every KW agent has their own mobile app, but it's important that you have your unique mobile URL. Okay, so if you send this to anybody, you want to make sure it has this at the end, because that identifies them to go to your mobile app, not Keller Williams's. So I don't want you losing your lead. So make sure you have the full mobile app. Okay, Once you've done that, you're good to go, and that is it for your second control panel. So we're all done with WolfNet, so let's close that now. Now we have our third control panel, which is going to be Playster. That's your new website that was announced at Family Reunion will apparently be your only website, or at least that's kind of the conclusion that most people are drawing. So we want to make sure we get this one set up, okay? And in order to do that, we jumped in this one a little bit earlier, but we're going to do a basic setup on Playster. Again, Playster, you can do a basic setup or you can get really advanced with your setup. Anybody who took my class knows that I don't want you getting advanced with your setup because, unfortunately, the lead capture websites that all agents now have are not as trafficked as they used to be. So the more time you spend here, the more I want you to ask yourself this question. Before I go spending a lot of time here, a lot of time and effort here, I need to answer. I have to ask myself this question: how do I plan on driving people to this website? And until you have a really, really good answer for that, I don't want you spending a ton of time on this, but I certainly want you to have it set up properly. Okay, so with that in mind, let's hover over technology and move on to control panel number 3, Playster. So again, I cover over technology in the main menu, and I'm going to come down to KW websites right here. I'm going to click on that, and of course it's going to take me to the page that I was already on. Your new website is ready. Go to my website. You're going to click on that, and we're going to do some basic Playster setup. Okay? As you can see, like I said, if this looks familiar, it's because we were here a few minutes ago. And your site is here. What we're going to do is we're just going to hit Edit Site, and we need to do some setup. Okay? So first of all, we're going to start right where we are, Site Settings. And to me, the single most important thing that you can do on this website is your IDX integration. Now, you remember from class, IDX is the tool that allows people to be able to search the MLS from your website. Which means if you do not set up your IDX properly, anybody who goes to your website is only going to see Keller Williams listings, and they're not going to stay there for very long. So the first thing we're going to do is click on IDX integration, and off to the right, you can see there are 2 MLSs already selected, MLS, that are already there. MLS PIN, which is the Massachusetts MLS, and KWLS, and notice KWLS is selected. So if anybody went to this website right now, they would only be looking at KW listings, and that's no good. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on use this MLS for MLS PIN. And you can see we have selected it. And then it says region. And now here's what this is. A lot of people live in areas where they have multiple MLSs. Up here in New England, generally it's multiple states. So if you lived in northern Massachusetts, you might have a Maine or a New Hampshire. If you're in southern Mass, you might have Mass and Rhode Island. So basically, this is which MLSs do you want to show. So we're going to hit edit, and as you can see, there are different combinations here. Okay, we're going to select just Massachusetts, and we're going to hit save, and that is it. Okay, so basically make sure that your MLS is selected. Make sure your region is the state or states or MLS or MLSs, to be more accurate, that you're going to be using. And then make sure you do not check off this box that says do not show MLS listings. Do not check that off. If you do, with this configuration, anybody who tried to search your website would see no listings. So we're going to hit save, and to me that's the most important thing. As long as you have that done, I'm okay. Next thing we're going to do is look at featured listings. Now again, let me pop open, let's view the live site. And again, I want to show you what I mean by featured listings. Right here are your featured listings. Okay? By the way, we've done no setup on this, but doesn't this site look pretty good to you? Because it looks pretty good to me. All right. Again, I don't think you need to do a whole lot of setup here. Okay. But anyway, let's swing back over here. Let's go to featured listings, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to set some criteria so that you can control what is going to show up right here. Okay. All right, so first of all, what I like to do is I like to set a minimum number of bathrooms as 1 because I don't like vacant land showing up. And vacant land doesn't have any bathrooms, so that alone usually gets rid of most of the vacant land. Number 2, I like to set a minimum and a maximum price. I like it to be somewhere in my customer's price range, in my area's price range. To be showing $19 million listings in an area where the average list price is 350 grand. Probably not a great idea. So I'm going to say I want 300,000 to, I don't know, I'll go 600,000. And I put those in the wrong place, my bad. So my minimum price will be 300,000. My maximum price will be 600,000. And I'm going to say whatever zip codes I want, but for right now, I'm just going to use 02762. Okay. Oops. There we go. Sorry. I don't know what I've done there. There we go. All right, so as you start typing it in, let me do that again. 02762. Make sure that you select it from the drop-down box or it won't go. So in other words, make sure it's in a little gray box or it's not really there. Now, I don't know why that keeps showing up the second time on me right now. But let's delete that. If I want to add any other search criteria, I can by hitting this down arrow, picking what I want, and then hitting add. But we don't need anything other than this. Again, if you want to put in multiple zip codes, you can. I'm just putting in that one for now, and I'm going to hit search, and it's going to say there's 19 results, and basically these are the 19 listings that will make up your featured listings. You can also click on this tab and pick specific listings out of those 19. You can hit add and remove, but again, I'm just going to let those 19 fly. And then I'm going to just hit save. Okay, now again, if I come back to the website and I refresh the page, the $90 million one's gone. Not that we don't want to sell those, but again, this is a little bit more, you know, in line with what we're selling around here. Okay, back to Playster. If you want, again, I'm not going to go over all the stuff. I'm just going to point out some stuff. Open house info. You can add your open house info to your to the single property sites that you get from here. Again, this is not a Playster course, so I'm not going to teach you Playster, but one of the features of Playster is single property websites, and right here is where you can add the open house information for your single property once you have some listings. Okay, next we're going to go to the site design. Now, like I said, I kind of like this design. I don't see a whole lot that I want to change here, but again, I'm going to show you what the changes are, so that if you do want to make them, you can. So the first thing we're going to do is theme select, okay? And as you can see on the right here, you have 8 themes that you can choose from. Okay, this is probably the more standard KW one. Okay, and again, I'm just going to roll through these, but I'm going to leave the one that I have there. Okay, so once I have it, the next thing I'm going to do is pick a color for my header. Okay, so I have red or any of these colors, or I can pick a white one with a red KW logo. I'm just going to go with what's there. And again, if I want to add a statement to display over the slideshow, like right up here, the best place to find your home, I can add that by typing it right down here in line 4. I'm not going to do that. I kind of find it sort of distracts me, so I don't really care for those. But again, if you want your website to say something like the best place to find your home, right above the search bar, you would type it in here in line 4. Again, I don't see anything that I want to change here. I'm going to keep the template that I have. I'm going to keep the border that I have, the border color that I have, and I'm just going to hit save. And my theme hasn't changed. Next, I have the slideshow. The slideshow is this right here. Okay, as you can see, this picture every few seconds will move to the next one. And what we can do here is change this, or really, if you're kind of, computer savvy and you're really picky about, your website, and again, I hope you don't get too picky, because this is one of the places where I think you can start spending much more time than you need to. So basically, you can either pick one of the default slideshows that they come with, and there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 in there, maybe a little bit more, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 of them, or you can create your own, and that's where it'll start getting a little, time intensive. So if you want to see each one, slideshow number 1, you can just hit the arrow and see what the pictures are. I'm going to say that doesn't strike me as New England, which is where this website's for. Then you have an interiors one. Not bad, kind of like that one. You also have a luxury properties one if you sell luxury properties. This would be a nice slideshow for you to use. If you're in the mid-priced, this house screams New England, so I'm probably going to just use this one. But again, you can come through and see what each of these slideshows look like. There's a nature theme, okay? But I'm going to go with the mid-priced homes one and hit select. And It's going to now show me each of these slides. Now here's where, again, if I really, really want to, I can delete these images and put in my own images by hitting upload. Now notice to the right it says the image has to be at least 1600 pixels wide by 660 pixels tall. When saving the image, you have to maintain the aspect ratio and all of this other stuff. Again, if you don't know what this stuff is, really, there's no reason that you want to be messing with it. Okay, the pictures out of here look fine, and you can just go with these. However, if you do want to change them, you can hit upload, change the photo, change the caption, and then you can even type in a link to somewhere else. So, for example, maybe you had an image here that showed your mobile app. You made your own graphics here that showed your mobile app, and when they clicked on it, it would take them right to the link that we copied from the other place. So that way, when somebody clicks on that picture, they will go right to your mobile app and be able to download it. Again, I don't think you need to do that. I can't think of any real life situations where you need to do that, but understand you can change the photo, you can change the caption, and you can turn that photo into a link as long as you type where that link goes here. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to hit save. Okay, that's our slideshow. Let's see. You can display certifications here. Again, I'm really not going to get into this, but if you have any of the certification logos, you can check them off here and hit save. Okay, you can also, change your menus and things like that. I'm not going to get into that at all, so I'm not going to click on that because I don't want you changing the structure of your site, at least not here. Next is site info. We're going to click on that. This will be the last thing that we do. It wants the brand name. What's the name of your site? Well, I'm going to say Plainville Homes for Sale. And then if I want to put a tagline here, I can. Okay. Again, this isn't my website, so I'm not going to put a tagline. As you can see, the KW logo is already there, so we don't need to upload one. Now, if you're in a market center or an area where your KW logo has to include your local name as well, then you're going to remove this logo and then upload the logo that your office gave you. But if you don't have anything specific that you need, you can just hit select the logo, and you can pick, from the more basic ones. But again, if you have a specific logo, it might already be here. For example, if you're in Boynton Beach, your logo is already uploaded. That might be an area where they have to use the local name as well. If you're a KW Luxury Homes agent, it's right here. But generally, most of us just use the plain old red, white, and KW Keller Williams logo. So I'm going to select that, and that will pop itself in there. Okay. If I want to use a site header displaying the name and a tagline, I would check off this box. Generally, you don't want to do that. It looks kind of goofy, to be honest with you, to show your brand name and your tagline on the top of your website. Upload a favicon. A favicon, you don't need it. It's the little tiny picture, like up on the tab where your website is. Like if you go to the KW website, up in the little tab on the top of the browser, there's the KW logo there. That's a favicon, and like I said, you just don't need one of those. So if you have one and you want to use it, great. You can upload it here. If not, this is certainly not the place where we're going to add that stuff. So let's move on, and we're going to put in the contact details of the agent here, and the email address, and his phone number. And we're going to upload his photo. And then we're going to put in the office information. Okay, and this is the information of the office, not of the agent. Okay. And I'm not sure what email address they're using, so I'll have them fill that in later. And again, remember, this is the office's information, not yours. Fill that in. There we go. If you are going to start messing around with SEO, search engine optimization, you can type in a meta title here, and then you can type in a meta description. Again, I don't really want you focusing too much on SEO because, like I told you in class, this is one of those fights that is long since over. And by simply typing in meta title and details, You're not going to move yourself to page one in Google. But again, if you want to, you can type in a meta title and meta description. Again, I'm not going to because I don't want to promote that for anybody. Um, but if you know about that stuff, feel free to fill it in there. And then you're going to hit save. If you are displaying your website in a different language, again, it says that you have to use the Madison theme for that. You can select language and pick the languages that you want. Next thing, this is kind of important. Right here, you have your first very important decision to make, lead capture. You're going to click on lead capture, and you have two ways. If you're using the free version, or the version of Placer that you were given, as opposed to the paid version, you have two options for lead capture settings, and we're going to go over these very quickly. But basically, they are passively capture leads or aggressively capture leads. Let me tell you what that means. Passively captured leads means it is never, ever, ever going. The website is never going to ask the user to register. You know how sometimes you go to a website, you click on the property, and it immediately asks you for your name, your email address, and your phone number and stuff? Well, if you have this set to passive, it will never ask you for that information. If the other option is to click aggressive, okay, aggressive means before it shows them a property, it will ask them for their contact information, okay? So those are your two choices, either never ask them or ask them immediately. If you pay for the enhanced version of Placer, you can pick however many properties you want to pop up before you make them register. Now, there are two schools of thought on this, and we went over this in class, but I'm going to go over it again quickly for those people who weren't in class. Passively is something that 2 years ago I would have told you never use this. The whole purpose of this website is to capture leads. However, most of us are not capturing leads on a Placer website. I'll tell you this, if you are doing something to drive a lot of traffic to your Placer website for the sole purpose of capturing leads, then you better set this to aggressively, because if you don't ask a person to register, the odds are they won't. So if you're doing something like pay-per-click, to drive people to this Placer website, set it to aggressively capture leads. If you're just basically giving this web address out to friends and buyers who you've already captured, there's really not much need for you to capture the lead, because the only people who are going there are people that you've already captured. And you can leave it set to passively. Again, 2 years ago, I would have adamantly been telling you, don't set this to passive. It's crazy. But again, because Zillow and most of those websites are no longer requiring people to register, it might not be a good idea for you unless, and I'll say this again, unless you are paying to drive leads over to your website, in which case, set it to aggressive. But we're going to leave this at passive for right now. Understand, this is 100% your choice. You can do it either way. Me personally, I like aggressive because I still believe I don't want you going to this website if you're not willing to give me your contact info. But I certainly understand the case for a passive setting here too. If you want to forward your leads to someone other than you, your third party, your CRM, or something like that, you would type in these email addresses here, and then you would simply hit save. Okay, that's your lead capture. If you want to get a custom domain, you click over here on custom domain. Okay, it says your domain, and then you would hit add your custom domain here. So in other words, if you went to, let's say, GoDaddy or register.com or something, and bought your own domain, you would type it in here, and then you would hit add domain. Now again, I want you to read this information. You understand you're going to have to buy this domain, and I am not doing that right now, but you're going to have to buy the domain, and you want to make sure that everything is set up right. So make sure you read the information to the right here, and then once you're done, just hit save. Okay? You also have site tracking here, so you can see the analytics of your website. Again, I'm not going to go into that right now. And you can also verify the ownership of this site with Google tools, and these are webmaster tools. Again, I don't think most of us are going to use these, but if you want to, you can. Okay? There are certain times where you would have to use site verification. Again, that's way beyond the scope of this class, so I'm not going to get into that, but I just want you to know it's there. Along the top, you have other settings. That was all under site settings. Next, we have pages. And again, I am not going to get into this, but again, if you want, you can go to the About page. So let's go to the website. Let's refresh so we can see any changes that we've made. And as you can see up here in the menu, there's an About page. I'm going to click on About, and this is a customizable page. We can we can customize this any way we want to. Any way we want to. Okay? Come down here and add photos and whatnot. So let's go back to Playster. Let's go to Pages. Let's go to About and hit Edit. Okay, and as you can see, you have a little WYSIWYG here. So here's my About page. Here's my page title. It's just About. And here's everything that's in here. If you want to, you can change the color, change the size, things like that. Okay, you can add pictures. You can bold it. You know, not a whole lot, of flexibility here, but you can do some things. You can put a video, insert pictures, you can create links. So basically, you can just sort of come in here and add your own content. I really don't mind you adding content to the About page. I think it's important that people know about you. If you have some testimonial videos, this is not a bad place to put one. Maybe you can put in a little description of yourself video here. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's outside of the scope of what we're doing here. But if you know how to upload a video to YouTube, you can insert a video here, okay? Because YouTube will give you this embed code. Again, I'm not going to show you that in this video, but I'm sure there's someone at the Market Center who can, okay? The reason I don't show it in the video, by the way, is because YouTube is constantly changing the little form that they use for embed, and I have to keep changing the video, so I decided not to do that this time. All right, so anyway, you can change these pages. Do you need to? No, absolutely not. But these are all the different pages that you can mess with if you choose to. Let's see. So that's your pages. Next, you have your blog posts. Again, look, you can start blogging here. Again, this is not a class on blogging, so I'm not going to talk about the best ways to blog. I highly, highly, highly recommend taking the 5-part course from Active Rain on the most effective ways of blogging. But I'm certainly not going to get into all of that here. But if you want to blog, you come up to your blog posts, you hit plus, you type in the title, okay? You type in your content, you add your photos, you add your meta tags. Here's where you want to use meta tags. If you're going to be blogging, make sure you're using your meta tags, okay? And again, I'm not going to get into all of this, but basically, as you can see here, Excerpt is a shortened version of the post. So they'd start to read it, and then if they want to read the rest of it, they would have to click, okay, to get to the rest of the post. It's a way for you to monitor traffic, to see which way people are, which posts of yours people are actually reading. Okay, so you type a short excerpt here, and you put the rest of the content up there. But again, I'm not going to get deep into this because, you know, this isn't about blogging. You also have testimonials, and you can just type your testimonials in here. Same way, okay? Same way. And if you want to feature the testimonial, if it's a good one, you can feature it again. You can just put in an excerpt here. All right, you can put in a file. I'm not quite sure why you have a file for your testimonial, but you can. And again, I'm not going to get deep into that as well. And then you have your areas which you can add. Again, something that I'm not going to get into here, but it is something that will come in handy for you at some point in time. So you want to make sure to get all of these things that I sort of just showed you, that I just talked about but didn't explain. Make sure you get into a Playster class in your office so that you can learn about things like this. Because the areas is something that will come in handy if you do start doing some pay-per-click or stuff like that. In the meantime, you have now finished your Playster website. And again, this is your Playster website. All done, all ready for you. So if somebody comes in here and starts searching, they're going to get results now because you set up your IDX, and as you can see, everything is working here. Okay, so you are good to go. Nice looking website. So, all right, so there's Playster. So basically, let's do a quick review. We have handled 3 of our 4 control panels. Okay, the first control panel, I'm trying to get back to my KW. The first control panel was your white pages. We hovered over profile, and then we clicked on edit under white pages. And then when we were done with that, we went to other, my referrals, and hit edit there. That was your first control panel. Your second control panel was your WolfNet. And again, we hovered over home. We went to agent website admin. We did sections 1.2. There it is, 1.2. We did section 2.4, which is where we just changed it over to our Playster URL. And we did sections 4.1, where we requested our IDX and WolfNet. And 4.5, we made sure that our mobile app was set up right. And again, we copied this URL because when we do the eEdge setup, which is next, we're going to need that. And it's kind of important. Okay? And let's close that. The third control panel that we set up was on the technology, my website, I'm sorry, KW websites, and that of course was the Play Store one that we just finished. The fourth and final one is eEdge. eEdge takes a little bit longer to set up, okay, because you have to set up your database and you have to set up your website. So what I'm going to do is you're going to do that on a separate video. So this is all for this video, and then I'll have a second video that is specifically for eEdge. So that is all for now. Thank you very much.